The message came at 3:11 a.m. No greeting, no apology, no hesitation. Kids are in a taxi to your place. Handle it. I'm done. My wife's sister's children, the ones I had said no to watching. I had prepared myself for an argument, for hurt feelings, for the usual emotional theatrics, but not that. I stared at the glowing screen, the words burning into my sleep-blurred vision, trying to decide which piece of the situation disgusted me more, the entitlement or the cruelty. Now, it wasn't even the kids. It was her assumption that she owned my life, that she could decide what I would tolerate. I tried calling her 5 times, straight to voicemail. I opened the curtains and watched the empty driveway. No headlights, no engine rumble, no taxi. Just silence and the faint smell of coming rain. 30 minutes later, a different call came. A trembling male voice. Wrong address, wrong street, wrong family. 3 days passed before anyone realized they were missing. 3 days. While the police swarmed her sister's house, while she screamed for anyone to blame but herself, while I watched everything unfold with a stillness I couldn't explain, even to myself. I didn't go there. I didn't answer her frantic messages. I didn't save her from the consequences she had written herself into. And then Thanksgiving came, and another message arrived. But this time it wasn't from her. It was from my daughter-in-law. She didn't even say hello. If you want to join Thanksgiving, come wash the dishes. As if I were a servant at my own family table. As if I should crawl back. As if I still needed them. I typed one word back. Enjoy. And then silence. Until she saw the photos. Until she saw the villa. Until she saw the life they had taken for granted. My phone rang 71 times. They all wanted answers. But I only had one. No. It didn't start with the children. It didn't start with the Thanksgiving ultimatum. It began long before. So quietly, the betrayal almost felt like an old memory. The first shift was subtle. My wife began scheduling my life without speaking to me, deciding our plans, our bills, our commitments, inviting people to stay in our home, speaking for me in conversations, always with the same phrase, "He won't mind." I minded, but I said nothing. I watched the invasive habits multiply. The unspoken expectation that I owed her family a place in my time, my money, my peace. The worst part wasn't the control. It was the entitlement. Like the villa in Switzerland. They didn't know about it. No one did. I bought it after my company sold and the profit wire hit my account like divine confirmation. I kept it hidden, quiet, mine, because I knew one day I'd need a door they couldn't walk through. The shifting lines between us became a battlefield, and she drew the first violent strike when she weaponized those children, when she tried to force me into compliance with morality as her shield. If you don't help them, you're heartless. If you don't do this for family, you don't care. Manipulation posing as virtue. I recognized the pattern too late, but not late enough. I didn't run. I didn't accuse. I didn't shout. I waited. The investigation started with one question. Who stopped seeing me as a partner and started seeing me as a resource? It wasn't only my wife. It was her entire family. Sudden requests for loans disguised as emergencies. Constant expectations of favors. And then my daughter-in-law joined the chorus. The woman who had married my son and immediately assumed I owed her a lifestyle. Thanksgiving was the final test. I wasn't invited as family. I was expected as labor, as utility, as someone they thought couldn't say no. I watched everything from a distance. I didn't confront. I didn't warn. I let them dig deeper, believing I was too polite, too passive, too trapped to walk away. Meanwhile, I planned. The villa became my sanctuary. I stalked it quietly. No one knew where I traveled. No one watched where the money went. I waited until the moment they thought they had me chained. the moment they assumed I needed them. Then the taxi incident happened, and the children vanished. Not dead, not harmed, just a family who mistakenly took them in, who refused to give them back until the truth was sorted out. 3 days of screaming, 3 days of panic, 3 days for them to understand they were powerless. I didn't save them. I didn't answer. I didn't play the hero they imagined they could exploit. I sat in the airport lounge with a drink and watched the chaos unfold through headlines and phone alerts. Finally, I boarded my flight to Switzerland. When the plane took off, I exhaled for the first time in years. The villa overlooked a frozen lake, moonlight reflecting against the glass like the world had been split open. I sent the photos to the family group chat. No caption, no explanation, just the life I built without them. My daughter-in-law was the first to call, then my wife, then her sister, then all of them. Messages poured in. "Where are you? Why didn't you tell us? You should have helped. We need you." Need. The word echoed in my skull. They didn't want me, they wanted what I could provide. I sent one final image. The view. Snow falling like forgiveness across a world that didn't deserve it. And then I blocked them all. Days later, my wife found a way to reach me through my lawyer. Her voice cracked, then broke, then pleaded. I didn't know it would go that far. I answered calmly. You made a decision. I simply didn't interfere. This can't be the end. It already is. She tried to blame everyone but herself, her sister, the taxi driver, me. Finally, the truth. You're selfish. No, I said. I was generous. You mistook it for obligation. Silence. The kind that marks the moment pain becomes understanding. I ended the call. Switzerland was quiet in a way no place had ever been for me. I woke without fear of interruption. I drank coffee staring at mountains instead of expectations. Freedom didn't roar. It whispered. I didn't care what happened to any of them anymore. Not the children, not the sister, not the woman who once wore my ring. They all taught me the same lesson. Sometimes the cruelest thing you can do is let people drown in the consequences of their own choices. The final call came from my daughter-in-law one last time. I let it ring out. I watched the phone vibrate against the marble counter. And I realized something with surgical clarity. I didn't walk away from them. They walked into their own ruin. I simply closed the door.